So, as you know, I post a question regularly on the Instagram Further Emergence Instagram feed. And the question I ask is, what's the biggest challenge you're facing in your spiritual life at the moment? And this person says, acceptance. I feel like I have these gifts and healing abilities, and I don't know if I deserve them, if I deserve to have them, or more to the point, I'm worried I can't fulfill them. So I feel like I'm struggling with acceptance of myself. That's the thing about when you get these uprisings inside, or intuitions about things, or senses of things. We're so conditioned to feel like we have to do something, you know? We have to make it happen. We have to deliver on the promise of our potential, which I don't think it's the way it is, because these things wouldn't arise if they weren't already inside you. And it's almost like you get the first little inclination of it. And it's great that you've recognized it and that you've acknowledged it. But you don't have to do anything about it. Meaning you don't have to make it happen, you know? If you think of like an acorn in the ground, and it's like if it had the sense of that one day it would be a huge, huge oak tree. And it'd be like the acorn going, oh my God, what have I got to do? I have to do something to make that happen. That's the way we are. We sort of feel under pressure. We get these glimpses of our potential, or our bigness, or our vastness. And we feel like, oh my God, I have to make this happen. And I don't think we do. I think we're like acorns. I think it's a beautiful gift to get a glimpse into what you are. But that doesn't mean you have to go into overdrive or responsibility, because in my experience of myself, there's lots of different parts of me, and some parts are less conscious than others. And the front part is the least conscious, the bit that's talking to you right now. It's the least conscious part of me. It's the least resourced to deal with existence, yet it's the one that has to deal with existence. Because the deeper parts, they know a lot more, they're much more conscious, but they don't have to, talk to the postman or interface with anybody. And it's that frontal part that jumps into, oh my God, I have to do something now. I've got these great gifts. What do I do? Oh, you don't have to do anything. It's a gift that you can have a sense of that. But if you just are easy with it and let the deeper parts of you organize things, which they will, so that you can let these things about yourself that you've discovered, so that they'll flourish and that they'll blossom. That they'll blossom in ease, not in strain. You'll feel inclined to do things. And when you feel that inclination, do them. But do them in ease, and do them knowing that if you don't do them, you'll get another chance. It'll come around again. There's no pressure in this kind of stuff. What is coming up from inside you, which is very different from, I want to be the fastest whatever, or I want to be the richest whatever, or I want to, that sort of stuff. Yeah, you have to hustle for that. You have to grind for that stuff, because it's in existence. It's coming from in existence, and you're going, yeah, I want to do that. I want to own that car, or I want to live in that house, or whatever. That stuff you have to grind for because it's of the world. But if it's coming up from inside you, you don't have to grind for that. In fact, grinding on that stuff just gets in the way. You just kind of go, oh, look at that beautiful thing. Look at that beautiful expansiveness I have on the inside. I wonder what's going to happen next. And then you just, the tricky bit, or the bit where the frontal part gets in the way a little bit, is if you have a knowing to do something, like say some sort of healing modality speaks to you, and then out of nowhere a training brochure appears. This is what happened for me with craniosacral therapy. I went from never hearing about craniosacral therapy to I didn't hear about anything else for 6 months. It was the weirdest thing. I just kept hearing about it, and I was living in a remote place, not too unlike this. So it's not like I was, around lots of people who were telling me about craniosacral therapy, but it just kept coming up. It was quite remarkable. It was almost to the point where I felt like I wouldn't have been surprised if a big truck had passed by my house with the big billboard on the side that said, "You should do craniosacral therapy." And I went to visit my friend, who was the original person I heard about craniosacral therapy from. And normally his desk was a mess. It was just full of stuff. But on this day I walked in, it was completely empty except for one brochure sitting in the middle of the desk. And it was for craniosacral training from the College of Craniosacral Therapy in London. And I walked in and I was like, I could read it upside down on his desk. I said, "I think that's for me." And he said, "Okay," and he gave it to me. And I, got in touch and signed up and did it. And, when we were on the first day of the course, craniosacral therapy course, we were having a sort of a get to know you, go around the room kind of thing. And I had never done anything like this before. And I wasn't even interested in it. I wasn't interested in being a healer. In fact, I was very interested in not being a healer. I didn't like I was like cool. I was like a rock star. I was like a filmmaker, artist. That was who I was, not a healer. So yeah, we're doing the going around the room thing. And, the person behind me is like, "Well, I'm a physiotherapist and I have been for this number of years." The next person is, "I'm a massage therapist. I've been doing it for this number of years." This next person is, "I'm a nurse, theatre nurse. I'm interested in craniosacral." Next person is something else. They get to me and I'm like, "I've just finished touring an exhibition of my photography." The guy who was the teacher told me years later, he said, "We didn't think you'd make it." In fact, we didn't think you'd make it past the first day. But that's what I'm talking about, following when it comes, you've got to follow it then, But you don't have to make it come up. You don't have to force yourself to feel like, I've got to do something about it. But you do have to act when it comes, and it can be pretty scary and shaky. So, in the class at that time, I wasn't thinking, "I don't think I'm going to make it." I kind of knew why I was there, so it was okay. But that's an example. Or, if I came across the brochure and for the course, and I looked at how much it was, and I kind of, I don't know if I should do that, or I don't know if I get the time off, or whatever it is. Those are the times to act. But other than that, you're grand. You don't have to do anything. Just let it all happen. It'll all come. It'll all be beautiful.